Welcome to Before Floor, the pregame edition of Five on the Floor, brought to you by the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka Three Piece Combo. I'm joined by Mr. Timmy and Mr. Marco Romo. Make sure you follow those guys on Twitter. They got you with the best heat opinions on the Twitter sphere. So make sure you follow those guys. Make sure you help support here, and also like the video and subscribe if you're new to the Five Reasons Sports Network. If you're a fan of South Florida sports, Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Canes, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys, like I said, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Now, if you're young with a family and you want to make sure your assets are protected, make sure you hit up our primary sponsor here on the pregame show, which is markbrownpa.com. That's marcbrownpa.com. Or give them a call at 954-866-8513. Like I said, if you're young with a family, you want to make sure your assets are protected. If something happens to you in this crazy world, he'll give you a free consultation. He's based out of South Florida. And you know the way the world works nowadays. You can do all these stuff over Zoom, get all that stuff taken care of. So give them a call, hit up that website, and like I said, marcbrown.com or 954-866-8513. Give your business to a Heat fan, not a Lakers fan or a Celtics fan, right? Also, we do our prize picks every single pregame show. Want to make sure you maximize your money. So what you'll do is you're going to go to prizepicks.com, use that promo code 5, spell it out FIVE. Your initial deposit up to $100 will get doubled by us, and that's up to 20 free plays. That's literally free money, guys. If you're going to play fantasy, if you're going to gamble, make sure you guys get the most out of your money. Go to prizepicks.com, use that promo code 5. We'll have a little bit more on that afterwards. Guys, we were able to pick up the win in that second game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Jimmy Butler showed why a lot of teams don't really want to play the Miami Heat and when it comes playoff time, right?
Hashtag him. Hashtag him.
Hashtag him. Jimmy Butler, when it comes down to it, I mean, we always have, there's a meme that goes around on Twitter about how the season of Jimmy Butler goes. You know, he's kind of taking a break and then he's coasting. And then we see Jim VP going into the playoffs. And that's like what we're starting to see now is that level of play just come back. And it's not like we didn't know it was there. We were just kind of waiting for him to turn up those gears. So, Marco, I kind of want to talk about what you saw, you know, some of the things successful that you saw last game that allowed us to pick up the win against the Cavaliers that maybe we weren't doing so well in the first game against them.
Honestly, it was the second half. The first half, I finally got able to watch the game. It was really ugly. The team kind of was really dysfunctional. It was just Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler in that first half. And then the second half, the supporting cast finally came along. It's always going to be about the offense for the Heat. Shout out to Donut Dan. Is that Dan Levitard eating donuts again? But yeah, guys that are, the supporting cast finally showed up. Max Strus, I think, had all his 18 of his 21 points in the second half. So it's a lot of the times it's just about the supporting cast because those three guys, especially Jimmy and Bam, the top two guys are going to be there for you night in and night out. But when those other guys show up, if Tyler has a good game and then the rest of the supporting cast even shows up a little bit, the Heat are going to have a chance. They still allowed probably more points than they were supposed to. Would have liked 110 plus. He really does not like that. The Heat post All-Star break defense hasn't been there, but again, the offense again was there for them tonight. It wasn't there that first game, especially in the third quarter. It was really nasty. But that allowed them to close it out. They were screening a lot for Jimmy. If you watch that game, they were screening the heck out of Ricky Rubio, Darius Garland, and Donovan Mitchell. They wanted those three guys on Jimmy Butler. And if they weren't, and then they were just going to, concede the switch, Jimmy was going to go in. Or Bam was going to get those screens too. So you better watch out for those screens tonight, trying to get Markelle Fultz on Jimmy Butler. Because not a lot of the other Magic guys are going to be able to, you're not going to be able to take advantage like that. The Magic are a big team. So you're probably going to have to go at Markelle Fultz. But watch a lot of the guard screen for Jimmy, especially Kyle Lowry coming back.
So perfect transition, beautiful AK enthusiast. What are y'all plays tonight? We will get you the plays, the prize pick plays after we finish a few questions. Give us just a couple minutes. But I was gonna say, perfect transition, Marco. Like you said, if you guys haven't heard, we are going to be getting Kyle Lowry back tonight. Eric Spoelstra on Kyle Lowry. I'm excited to have him back in the mix. We can use another spark right now during the stretch run. So it does seem like we are going to be getting Kyle Lowry back tonight, which is exciting news regardless, right? If he gives you any positive minutes, that's what you want. And the point guard play for this team hasn't been great anyways. So, I think that if you can get anything from maybe a rested Kyle Lowry or maybe a lot, what we saw from Goran Dragic in the bubble where he had that time off And the bubble run was essentially when he was able to use that time off to just play a little bit harder than he normally has. Maybe the time off helped Kyle a little bit. Maybe allow him to push a little bit harder going into the playoff stretch. Timmy, what do you think we'll see from Kyle Lowry tonight, or maybe going into the home stretch of the season?
So it's been 5 weeks off, and I didn't realize how old Lowry is. He's about 37. I didn't realize he's so close to LeBron in age. So like you say, that time off will help. We have been getting nothing really outside the top three players. Like if the top three players are combining for 70, the rest team is giving you maybe 20. What I think Larry brings is actually IQ. Like, if we could get like a chaos on this, we can outthink these teams in the playoffs. You could throw away, and this is why I know to the fans like, why do you don't want to just tank? Because the playoffs is a different season. What you did for the last 8 months doesn't matter. The playoffs is a brand new season. I've watched it so many times. Larry has been battling for years. Like there's just certain things Larry can do on the floor that a Gabe won't pick up, that maybe people won't pick up. I think sort of an IQ standpoint, combine that IQ with love. The head passes, like the pace. I think we've been waiting to see will maybe pick up a bit with both Larry and Love. And another note you mentioned, Duncan's actually in health and safety protocol. So it's like just as you get one player back, you lose another player. So I'm not sure yet of Caleb's status. So I think Kane might be active tonight because I think Jovic and Orlando are down in G League. So with Duncan in health and safety, and with Caleb kind of hurt, we might get some Kane minutes, but getting people off the ball. I think I love that. I love those threes he had in the first Cavs game, but there are just some possessions where I just need people to only focus on trying to score. We don't need people trying to, because that the end of the game when he kind of botched that that was the first Cavs game, right? When he just dribbled for like 18 seconds. No, that's not your job, Depot. Oh, so yeah, Caleb is out. So we might get some Caleb minutes. Sorry, some Kane minutes. Try to Freddie Gibbs, like cocaine. But yeah, man. I'm happy to it's the Magic. And you're going to bring up a good point. This isn't a team where we can take advantage of. Franz Wagner is the starting three, and he's also the backup too. That's a 6'9" shooting guard that's gonna have to be going up against Hero. So I just think and you said for the stretch run, I just think now we could get some chemistry. This is the squad. There's no help coming. These G League players are going to be able to help you. Yurton Jovic isn't going to go have a Sasa Vujicic or a Morrison game in the playoffs. It's not going to happen. Spo isn't the type of player. We know Spo didn't play Chalmers until game 6. So, these people are saying, let's just see what Jovic has. It's not going to happen. Know your team, know your coach, be realistic in your fandom. This is what we have. This is who we're going to war with. I would like to see Kittle get maybe a bit of a rest because he was banging the first half of the season going against power forwards. So maybe if we could just reduce Kittle minutes a bit, get Tipos up a bit so he could get in the rhythm. But this is what we have. So now we have about 3 weeks left of the season. Let's fine tune this thing and see where we land.
Excellent point, man. I really do like that point that you made there about he was really getting beat up towards the beginning of the season too. So allowing him to maybe just get his bearings back and mold into the role where we're using him a little bit more so now as a backup and letting him not be so much against the bigger guys and letting him be an excellent point of attack defender, an excellent wing defender, the things that we know he does excellently, and he doesn't have to try so hard just to match up on the size due to the lack of mass. So let's get to the prize picks, guys. I'm really mad because I was looking at the screen and they took away the Tyler Hero 2.5 threes. Also want to give a shout out to my man Christopher Chen, Mr. Christopher Chen, always showing some love in the DM. So I appreciate you, man. But let's get to the prize picks for tonight. We got Bam Adebayo, we got Jimmy. Like I said, they did take away the Tyler Hero over 2.5 threes made. We were banking on those every single time. Marco, I'll let you start with the prize picks. Which player are you thinking about right now?
Do they have Jimmy Steals in there?
Let's see. Jimmy Steals 1.5.
Ooh, hit that over, baby. All the way
over.
Like I'm MF for. I think, especially against Orlando, they're kind of prone to turnovers. Being a young team that doesn't have that one solid point guard outside of Markel. So I think Jimmy's especially been on a heater in terms of defensively recently. I'm definitely hitting that over. Also, Bam's rebounds, I think, is Was it? Is it still at 9.5?
8.5.
8.5? Ooh, that's tricky. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that one. I'm gonna go with his points though. I think I'm gonna see a good Bam night tonight. Maybe I'd say about 21. I think he's gonna try to show out tonight, especially against the big guys like Orlando has. He has a little bit of a rivalry that I don't think a lot of people talk about with Wendell Carter Jr. Those guys were in the same kind of draft class, and they always try to one up each other, but it's not. It's a mutual respect though, and I can see those two guys going at it. I'm definitely gonna hit the over on the Bam points though, but the steals by Jimmy, I feel like that's a lock.
Yeah, definitely. Timmy, who are you looking at? We got some Bam props here. Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love is actually on the board for a couple props.
What's Love's numbers?
I'm sorry?
What's Love's rebounds?
6.5.
I'll take the over on that.
Yeah.
I'll take the
I
over.
think that's a solid pick there too.
Yeah.
And then for my pick, I would go like Marco alluded to, Orlando is a young team. The Jimmy Butler 7.5 free throws made. I mean, he's just getting to the line.
And Gary Harris is very foul prone.
That moved up, right? That was at like 5.5 last time.
Yeah, I think it was, but he obliterated the number regardless. So, like I said, guys, use that promo code 5, maximize your money, and use the flex play as well, right? Make sure you guys use that flex play so that way, even if you guys get one of them wrong, you're still getting time and a half, right? So you're still getting 50%. If you're trying to bet or if you're trying to compound your money, 50% every time. It's not a bad bet. So make sure you guys, like I said, use that promo code 5 to maximize your money. Let's get to predictions. Timmy, I'll let you start. Marco, I'll let you take us home.
Yeah, man. I definitely see the Magic is always it's a conference rivalry. Division rivalry, and they always play as well. And I really love Frank Wagner, and I like the Wagner brothers, and I like with Paolo. He's the runaway rookie of the year. I like the team itself, but I think Lowry would provide a spark. Because again, we gotta remember Twitter isn't real life. What we think about Lowry isn't how the team feels about him, and he actually had like a good 2 to 4 week stretch trust before he got hurt, and yeah, age caught up. But I do think it's going to be a good fine-tuning game, and the Heat will show why Bill Simmons was terrified of Kevin Love coming to Miami. I just think that, I want to knock on wood, but I just think things are trending in the right direction for sure. I just think this is just another building block into solidifying that last brick for this playoff run. I say about I'm gonna be risky here, Marco. 6-point win. 6-point win.
Not a clutch game. Interesting. That's a wild take there. Marco, take us home, my man. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling a clutch game. That's what I'm feeling. Especially Orlando. They haven't had the Heat's numbers since for a while now. They've been really good against them in terms of record wise. I think I mentioned that last time we played them. Miami's kind of beaten up on them the past 3-4 years, going back to when James Johnson was here. But yeah, I'm going with Miami, but it's gonna be a tight one. 3 points. I'd say Jimmy probably closes it out with a jumper again, like he did the Cavs last night. But I think it's gonna be a good Jimmy and Bam night. Tyler, the threes are gonna be there, but I feel like he's gonna kind of have a struggle. But if he hits those first 2 threes, he's gonna be on for tonight. But definitely gonna go with Miami. I'd rather flip a coin than choose who the hell if it's gonna be a clutch game or not. But yeah, I go Miami in a clutch game, obviously.
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? I do think Miami, obviously, when you're coming off a second night to a back-to-back, it's tougher, right? The team is going to be a little bit less energized, and when you're playing against a young Magic team that really has nothing to lose, and they're in a really unique position where they're pretty close to the top of the lottery, and they're also close to the play-in, so they have a couple of options of what they can do either way if they win or lose. They're just playing game to game, talking to the players after every game. They don't really look at each game as the whole of a season. They just break down each game at one of a time, and that's what a young team needs to do. And I think they're doing a great job of that. I think they have a good coach, and I think they have a lot of talented players. The Franz are really good, or Franz and the Wagners, they're both really good. Cole Anthony's growing into his role. Paolo is a good scorer, right? He still has a little bit of rough patches. He's still growing into his role, but Paolo is pretty good as well. And they have, like I said, Wendell Carter Jr. is an excellent center too. So they have a lot of good players there. I like the mix of players they're putting together. But I do think Miami pulls it out. I think this is one of those games where the experience edge will play out for Miami, and we'll be able to pick up the win and kind of build on the momentum from last night. So as always, guys, if you guys think Miami is going to win, make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe. And as always, we appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll see you guys after the game. Appreciate everybody in the comments, Young Cash Nova, AK Enthusiast, Arlene VP, our guy, Mr. Jose Matos, Mr. Christopher Chen, all you guys, Nick Bottino. Yeah, appreciate you guys, and y'all have a good one.